I was thinking if I had free speech, I would use much more robust language than this. But alas, on YouTube, I do not have free speech, so I cannot say the things I would be saying, even if I only say them in a humorous way. Apparently, some things are haram now, as Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has found out, and so did Dave Chappelle. It's like both of those guys. You got the I don't know, the mainstream media machine, the puppet master puppets are going after these guys. Dave Chappelle, because apparently Dave Chappelle wants to slaughter trans people. That deals with the freedom of speech issue. Now, for the globalists, they can't have freedom of speech because eventually, gradually, even the normie will come around to noticing these globalists and calling them out. So they are in this desperate race to crush free speech as fast as possible, and we're on the other side trying to honk pill people as fast as possible. And which side will win? There's no way to tell, but things are going to be spicy in the future. What do I always say? It's kind of too base for YouTube, but it's funny you say the truth doesn't fear investigation, and that it's like, oh, that must be a far right dog whistle. Why would it be? What are you hiding? Why would that be a far right dog whistle? Well, yes, we're waiting. The truth is a lion. You set it free and it defends itself, right? Oh no, that's not how it. It's not. No, you'd have to accept things on faith. The left wing, Nietzsche was right. They killed God and they invented their own God, but nature abhors a vacuum, and people have to believe there's like a part of the brain that needs that balance of neurotransmitters that comes with a religious ecstasy. And they got rid of religion, and so they tapped into just kind of substituting man for God. And it's, I guess, man's got a really base nature. So or maybe the people who kind of viewed themselves as gods maybe they're fundamentally flawed. Because I know there's some on the right of center who kind of have a somewhat similar belief, but it's not really. It's more like they're hoping that they, over generations, will ascend, not essentially to godhood, but ascend to something or reach out beyond the stars. Like, oh, those Europeans, they just want to colonize the stars. Yes, and yes. Why did you climb? Hey, Englishmen, why did you climb that mountain? Because it was there. And that's the difference between us and them. That's probably too base for YouTube. This is a secondary channel, so hopefully when they nuke it, I don't know. You'd be surprised how sophisticated the algorithm is, what it's able to pick up. Anyway, Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan. Oh, they're going for Joe Rogan because he said the N-word. Oh my God. Stop being a pussy, maybe. Just walk it off. Or, realistically, if you don't like what he has to say, I don't like Joe Rogan, or I don't not like Joe Rogan. I don't listen to him. He's not my cup of tea. It's not that I don't not like him or like him. I just don't listen to him. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of ways to get your news. I get a lot of my news through Telegram and Gab. It's like a normie, like a left-wing person hears that and they're like, oh my God, they're literally Hitler. They're getting their news from Gab and Telegram. Yeah, because you've got a little bit freer speech over there. So why wouldn't I want all perspectives? So the thing with Rogan is, obviously the N-word's not an issue. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about the language he's using, pejoratives, because he wasn't using them in a derogatory way. But the thing is, even if he was, it's fine with me. You can use anything you want in a derogatory way if you wish. And the thing is, to be fair, if he was using it in a derogatory way, he wouldn't have so many listeners. Because most people don't like that kind of language used as a pejorative because it feels ghetto, it feels low class. But he wasn't using it in that way. He was using it as an example. He was using it in context. So, like, he has the right to use it in context, out of context, use it any way he wants. But most people would not be cool with it. Would be like dropping, I don't know. It's just gross. It just feels low class. But he wasn't using it that way. That's why he's got like 11 million people who are tuning in to hear his perspective. Obviously, that's not the issue. this black guy Chappelle is yeah, called him black. Is African better? Is that Mikey less sense? Oh my God, you said African. There's literally no, anytime if you want to trigger a left winger, use those words and they get real panicked. Him, the half baked guy. That was I don't like his stand up, but I saw that movie he did, I guess in the 90s. Very funny. His delivery was amazing. That was a really well done film. The issue is not with him and the trans thing. The issues with them and freedom of speech. They want you to just accept these ideas without pushing back on them. And Chappelle, I'm not sure how far down the rabbit hole he is. To his credit, he wouldn't do that. He was speaking out against it. Space globalists, am I right? This video is all over the place. Then Joe Rogan, the issue is not with the N-word. The issue is with the underlying, and the issue is not even with the underlying thing. Like you think, oh, the core issue is the Wu flu, right? Not exactly. I think the core issue, keep going down the rabbit hole, what's below the Wu flu? It's that the people in charge, these authoritarians, give you information and they compel behavior, and they want you to accept it without questioning it. I think that's probably one layer below, oh, well, it's a public health emergency. But yeah, the truth doesn't fear investigation. Everything should be able to be questioned and doubted. Right? Right? No, that's not how authoritarians work. They don't want you to question things. They want you to just accept authoritarian rule. And, so we learned that with the Patriot Act, 911, you give up liberties, you don't get them back by thoughts and prayers. You get them back by getting them back through the historical method. So that's kind of the issue with Joe Rogan, is that he's not both Rogan and Chappelle are kind of off the plantation in speaking truth to power. Okay, so Dave Chappelle doesn't want to live among the poor. So this is an Obama era plan, and Biden is Obama's, I guess, third term, and it's really kind of a Soros, Rothschild, Schwab plan to bring the I don't know what you want to call them, AK Nation, ACT Nation calls them the Sun People, to the suburbs, and it's happening right now. It's been happening for a while. The goal is obviously to destroy America and make it such that there's nowhere to escape to, and policing it is impossible, because instead of the police just being in one area, they have to be everywhere at once. It's like, gee, what we need is a police state. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they're doing all this. Also to lower cohesiveness, lower in-group trust, lower and destroy everything, and usher in an authoritarian police state. You don't, how do I say this? The stop and frisk, the Fourth Amendment, the thing that has the founding fathers spinning in their graves with the stop and frisk thing, it's the founding fathers didn't envision a low trust society. So, like trying to hold certain people up to the, that's too much for YouTube, to the standards that were written by these guys of the Bill of Rights. It's like that's only for high trust groups. It's not for low trust groups. So that's why if you're going to have a city of differing, unlike people, you just can't expect them to live according to the Fourth Amendment as written by these guys, 300 years ago. The thing is, the goal is to turn America into the third world, and the forces are already in motion. It's happening because nobody wants to stop it, because the globalists' propaganda box, known as TV and control of academia and media, has brainwashed the cattle for 70 years. They really ramped it up post-World War II. Nobody's going to speak up because they'll be called Islamophobic. So let me be clear here. If you want to fix this, you got to be more than just a milquetoast Republican pussy. You're going to have to get based. Yeah, they're going to call you names. They're going to call you the R word. You need to ignore it and speak truth to power, to use their own lighthearted and frivolous lexicon. Why don't black celebrities stay in the hood? Don't they want to live around their people? No, because they'll get robbed so many times that they'll have to move. And, don't worry, they'll always keep blaming white people. So with all this, you can't stop this until you stop it. You can't play by their rules and win. You've got to name them and name the problem. Why exactly do you not want your neighborhood to be diverse? Until you can be honest, and obviously you cannot be honest on mainstream social media. That's what Telegram, Gab, and Odyssey and Bit Chute are so good for. Until you can be honest, you're going to be enslaved by them. Because you're playing on their field. They've crafted the argument such that for you to say diversity is cancer makes you a tribalist who has in-group preferences. And Europeans are not allowed to be tribal. And until that changes, us, will continue to lose. Diverse means unlike and different. Die is two, and verse, I guess, is probably referring to I have a dictionary, but I didn't pull it out. Is probably referring to the literature definition, I assume. So it's like two opposing lines or stanzas or sentiments. It means weakness. It's always meant weakness. They know that, and now, finally, it's something like in Russia. When they got on board with the revolution, they were calling each other comrades left and right. And there was kind of this feeling of hope for the future. And then calling each other comrades slowly fell out of favor when they realized like it was a con. The whole Bolshevik revolution was a con. They were never going to have a better life. It was always going to be the haves and the have-nots. Because some things don't work. Censoring speech just doesn't work. It just protects the people in power to maintain that power structure. That's why the Bolsheviks now and then always censor speech. And they're doing it. They're trying to ramp it up now. Like, oh, no, you must not question this current health issue. You must not question it. Well, then, I'll just say the truth doesn't fear investigation. Too much for YouTube? I don't know what the algorithm will pick up. Your channel has been permanently suspended. Oh. And you've been denied Google services. Oh. What? That sucks. And you can't use your credit cards to shop at these stores. Whoa. And, you get the idea. That's kind of where we're going with all this kind of stuff until people speak up and talk about everything. Is that going to happen? It's like I kind of look in, I hope I'm wrong about this, but I look at the Canada thing and I say, I don't think they're going to accomplish what they want to accomplish because I don't see them naming the problem. And half measures will avail us nothing, if you know where that quote's from. And until you name the problem, you're always going to be able to be manipulated by people who can just call you istophobic, and you'll recoil in horror at being called istophobic. Because we're continuing to play by their rules. Because, it's like fat men don't, well-fed people don't throw revolutions. So it's like, that's why the slowly boiling frog is so effective. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next episode.